Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. Well, I like that. Let's try that again like that. Good morning, Evan. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Evan. Honored as always to have all of you here. It's raining out, so the real troopers. Second day of our 6th annual LDV Vision Summit. I'm Evan Nisselson. Those are the Twitter. I saw a couple photos yesterday. I think Trace is leading in the most interesting photo, but we'll see if any of you can beat him by sharing cool, bizarre, intriguing photos, and the winner will get a special prize at the end of today. Some of you that were here yesterday, let's do this again. Close your eyes for 5 seconds. Everybody close your eyes. Some people in the world actually can't see, unfortunately, and maybe technologies will help that. Now open your eyes, and what do you see? You see light. Light is all kinds of spectrums and all types of visual data. That's why we're here. The majority of the data that our brains analyzes is visual. And visual technologies analyze all these different spectrums. And the majority of the data that our brains analyze is visual. So for AI to succeed, the majority of data that AI will analyze will be visual. And that's what this event is all about every year. And that's what our summit is all about and our fund. The ecosystem is unique and it's very diverse, but we think bringing this group together of creators and researchers and investors and entrepreneurs and creative people, you never know the serendipity will happen. Usually there are events only for each group. And it's a very focused, valuable, but we think even more valuable to bring everybody together to hopefully find co-founders, recruit each other, invest in each other, and have a lot of inspiration and fun. We couldn't do this without our great collaborators. Serge from Cornell Tech, who's there in the front row or close to the front row, and Rebecca from Cakeworks. And it brings more of from Cakeworks, they're experts in the video space, and Serge is a deep expert in computer vision, among other things. Of course, we couldn't do these without our fantastic sponsors and partners, Google Cloud, Neuromation, GumGum, Brex, Ezra, M12, which is Microsoft's venture fund, TouchCast, Movable Ink, and a bunch of other fantastic partners on the media space, and this SVA Theater, which we love collaborating with them every year. Wi-Fi access, pretty straightforward. You have to use the caps for GumGum 19. And let's talk about LDV Venture Capital Fund. We invest in deep technical people building visual technology businesses. We're the only venture fund that has that thesis, and that's quite unique. It's because of the background for myself. I started as a photographer, photo agent, photo buyer, and built 4 visual technology businesses, of which some succeeded and some failed. And we try to help our entrepreneurs avoid the mistakes that I made and do the things we did well. Our team, we couldn't do it without our core team. Everything that we do here in our fund and our dinner community is done by 2 people, Abby and myself. So I want to give Abby a round of applause. Can everybody, yeah. Fantastic part of our team. It's the 2 of us collaborating. We also have Jorge, who's going to join as an analyst this summer. Last summer we had 3 analysts. This summer's 1. Next summer, who knows? In addition, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have all the answers. And we try to circulate ourselves with fantastic people that have more expertise, such as Gail, who's sitting over there in the front, Serge again, Luke, Andrew, and Nico from Apple, and a whole list of others from co-founder, CTO of YouTube, Instagram, etc. And those are the people that actually help with us deal flow, with mentoring our startups, advising, and who knows how to collaborate in the future. Visual tech. It's a horizontal thesis across all business sectors and all parts of society. As we noticed earlier when you opened your eyes, light is a big part of our life. And computers, before computer vision, acted as if their eyes were closed. And computer vision and visual technologies enable computers to see. And that's what we'll dig into more today. These are examples of some of our early stage startups that we've invested in, these people. And obviously at the early stage, there's a lot of challenges and roller coasters, which we'll talk about during our fireside chats. And the goal is to help our companies raise follow-on from great follow-on top tier funds, which successfully we've done to date. As I mentioned earlier, there's the fund and there's the platform. And the platform is the summit, a monthly dinner series, and some tools that we're building. But let's get to the content. So visual technologies were once considered cute, niche, and science fiction. In 2012, when I started this fund, everybody said I was crazy again, which is about 6 or 7 times every couple of years they say that. And when they say I'm crazy, I'm onto something. Okay, the challenge is it's very nerve-wracking because I second-guess myself all the time. I wake up in the middle of the night, am I crazy for real or just a little early or on time? But recently, there's some real validation of visual tech. Companies going public, and they couldn't have done it without visual technologies from Zoom and Pinterest. Lyft and Uber, you might not realize it on the top level, but the guts of the maps and the guts of their autonomous vehicles could not operate without vision tech. Cruise was acquired, Mobileye was acquired, and a bunch of unicorns. So not only is it a unique core attribute of allowing computers to see, there's significant value creation, which is what a lot of us would like to do. They'd like to create value and help society, and as I always say, hopefully make money while we sleep. We asked a couple of investors what they thought about the state of the art of visual tech and opportunities. Albert from Union Square Ventures says, vision makes the world accessible, navigable, and manipulable. Rachel Lamb, who's speaking later today, and actually Albert spoke a couple years ago, visual technologies are the eyes of the intelligent computer. Matt Turk, who's speaking later today, computer vision is an immensely fertile area for entrepreneurs and investors. One more, Ohm actually did a fireside chat with me at our first summit in 2014. I think Rick Smolin, who's out there, spoke at that summit as well, and Brian Storm in the back spoke at that summit. And what we love is that people keep coming back every year. So we really believe it's a community that continues to grow. Let's talk about a couple different sectors that we're going to dig into either yesterday or today. Autonomous maritime. One of our companies, Sea Machines, is mixing many different types of visual data to automate workboats and cargo ships. Another company, Wizard, web production is very convoluted. There's many tools in order to build apps and websites. But what if you could upload your sketches from a drawing or a napkin and have the brain, the computer vision brain, automatically create a wireframe from your drawings, and then connect the workflow and then invite your team members to collaborate. So what usually takes hours, if not days, if not weeks, is taking minutes. And this is a company in Copenhagen that we invested in. Another sector is healthcare, which healthcare was a big part of yesterday and is going to be a big part of today. This is a future MRI. Rather than going in that big machine and getting claustrophobic, what if you could put a smaller miniaturized hardware device, which NYU is working on? Or thermal, seeing a whole other level of security. Virtual collaboration. We're going to hear later today from Ido at TouchCast talking about their collaboration initiatives, and this is using HoloLens among others. There's many opportunities there. Obviously, the holographic collaboration is something I'm excited for. We'll see when that happens. It's not if, it's when, and hopefully it's in the next couple years. Agriculture is another huge sector. What if you can actually know the exact tomato and have an identity of that tomato, where it came from, every stage of the logistics process, all the way to your mouth at your kitchen table? That's going to happen. How about experiential media, which we're going to talk a lot about today? The next generation of video and creative production, from synthetic media to other opportunities. Bandersnatch was a recent movie that pushed the envelope into interactivity. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I loved it and hated it, trying to figure out what stage of, telling the movie to go one way or another. and I always guessed whether or not we should do one or the other. Should I kill the computer or should I not kill the computer? Should I jump out of the terrace or not? Very interesting. We're going to talk later on a panel about that with Rebecca Paoletti moderating that. No. Or commerce. I want to buy that shirt. So interactive, clickable video. This has been around for a while. It hasn't really taken off, but maybe it's time for it to take off. Or I see you. Interactive DJing and movie where you're interacting really socially with a ton of people. Abner is going to speak later today. Some people might hate this. Some people love this, and it's really taken off so people can interact, put themselves in the videos, and socially share. Why do we care? It's a very exciting time for visual technologies. We're at the beginning of a massive trend. I've been saying this for years, and it's still the beginning, because technology keeps on pushing the envelope. What sometimes is bleeding edge becomes cutting edge, and then becomes commoditized. Then there's new bleeding edge and cutting edge, and we like to invest right in the line of bleeding and cutting edge. And if you're working on any interesting companies, we'd love to speak with you. There'll be tremendous value created for investors, businesses, and society. Once again, I share this every year, each day. You're crazy, Evan, as I mentioned earlier, things that I've said, and people said I was absolutely crazy. The green have come true. We'll see if the rest ever do. And it's not counting how many times I'm accurate, because accuracy is not the only measure. It's about finding the great people at the right time to collaborate with and not being too early or too late, which is easier said than done. Life is short. Live every day and every second, and this is one of my photojournalism projects. So the core of this crazy guy who talks about visual technologies got his first camera, a Nikon F, at 13 years old, and then a Rolleiflex. Used to love his fixer smell of his fingers in the darkroom, and continues to look for ways that visual tech can help communicate amongst each other, help heal people, and hopefully, as I said, it's just the beginning. Carpe diem. I don't have all the answers, but let's hear from people smarter than me. Thanks very much.